but when you look at Jason, the separator was the coin. He went 2-0 with a coin.
Wow,
that's pretty good.
That doesn't speak much. That doesn't speak that highly of his selection skills.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But I told you guys before the season I was going to rely on this for most of my picks this year. So
yeah, he used the coin that got him Elida over Wapakoneta, and it got him Ada over Spencerville.
Yeah,
and you and I both missed on those, Mike. So I guess those two were the separators. We all had LCC and OG. Miller was the only one to pick Defiance over Bath. So when it shakes all out, Aldrich 8-2 now after 2 weeks. Miller 7-3. Me 6-4 with some ground to make up.
All right.
Short reflection on last week, though. One of the games we picked that we thought might be closer than what a lot of people were prognosticating was Salina-Ottawa-Glandorf, and that turned out to be a dandy at Titan Stadium. Salina, a 2-point conversion late in the game, failed, or that game probably would have went to overtime. And at least I had that part right. I think Salina is somebody to be reckoned with, and they certainly were last week with the Titans.
I think Salina's reaping the benefits of a veteran quarterback. They might have the best quarterback in the league, frankly, Brandon Bilger. He's a thrower and a runner in the same boat. He's more of a run first, but he can scramble and really make things happen and utilize his weapons. I don't know that a lot of teams are going to put upper 20 points on this Ottawa-Glandorf team. So impressive show for Salina despite losing. And Ottawa-Glandorf, as you say, they're 2-0 and they're a preseason pick for good reason, although they'll have an interesting test tonight at Shawnee. Salina, OG from last week, you were surprised, Jason?
Not really. I did go ahead and pick without the coin on that one, if I recall correctly, on Ottawa-Glandorf. But again, I think Salina is showing some strides, that they're right back near the top half of the Western Buckeye League.
No doubt about it. 28-26, OG hangs on, and they will indeed be in Lima tonight to take on the Shawnee Indians, a very important game. Also, last week, the Spencerville Ada game, I was very disappointed in Spencerville's performance, but I guess we've got to, at least to a degree, give it up for the Ada defense, not only their execution, but their game plan. They basically just dared Spencerville to even try and throw the football, and the Bearcats failed miserably.
Yeah, and then Ada schemed up with their linebackers and just completely stuffed the run, and that's one year where you have to give it to Coach Mike Fell, really, and his coaching. And the fact that Ada, like some of these other teams that are consistently good, and they've been consistently good now for, 6 or 7 years, frankly, with Coach Fell, isn't as much as their ability to throw the ball and air it out. It's their physicality. They can rough it up with teams, and I think Ada showed a little bit of that on Friday night against a Spencerville team that is getting more physical and is why they've gotten better. But Ada made a stand and indicates that they're right there at the top of the Northwest Conference.
Spencerville will be at Allen East tonight. They should get their offense back on track. No question about that. The Mustangs have been giving up points by the bushelful, and Spencerville put up 63, I think it was, week 1 against Perry. And also from last week, our game, Defiance outscored Bath. That was a wild one, kind of as we figured it would be. And Defiance with the comeback victory. Good for Coach Beauty and those guys to get on the board. But Bath wouldn't go away. And really that one held true to form that it would be a pretty high-scoring game. We just, Mike and I had it wrong. Or you and I had it wrong, Jason, and Mike had it right with Defiance.
Well, and in that broadcast, too, I did that game here last Friday over at Bath, and Todd Clark and I, after the first quarter, looked at each other and said, boy, this isn't going to pan out as we may have thought, coming off both teams' first week performance, piling up all those points. I believe Bath led 10-7 at the end of that first quarter. Defiance came back, showed some grit, showed some gut, and then even Bath came back because they were down big in the fourth quarter when Defiance started to turn the ball over. That was Bath's big problem in that game, just the turnovers killed them.
5 of them?
Yeah.
5 turnovers. Big key that Doug Fry's not counting on this week against Bath.
That's right. Bath at Wapakoneta tonight. Also last week, LCC beat Crestview 42-21, a game that we pretty much had pegged that Crestview is a solid team and should be able to stay relatively in that game, but T-Birds pulled away in the second half. The big BVC showdown last week turned out to be anything but a showdown as Liberty Benton rolled at Arlington 42-0. And Lima Senior lost a wild one at Marion Harding 40-33. I believe the President scored on the last play of the game or close to it to pull out that victory. And with that, we move ahead to week 2. And we start our picks with our broadcast game tonight, Piqua at Lima Senior. Spartans looking at a tough track in the track, if you will. This is their final non-league game. The Piqua Indians come in off a 24-21 win over Kingsmill Kings, a team from down around Cincinnati, after losing to Elida pretty handily in week 1. Spartans got drilled by Thurgood Marshall, a playoff team from last year in week 1, and nearly pulled off the road win last week against the Presidents. Can they get Piqua tonight on our broadcast game? Mike, you going to take the Spartans or are you taking the Piqua Indians?
I'm going to have to take Piqua because of the way they bounced back. Kingsmill's King has been a playoff team somewhat consistently in recent years. They haven't gone far, but they've made the playoffs. And Piqua's really a proud program team with a veteran coach, and they bounced back after the loss to Elida. Frankly, that impresses me. I'm going to have to take them. I can't believe the Spartans until the Spartans can win more than one game, maybe. So the proof is in the pudding, and the proof ain't there yet for senior high, unfortunately.
I would love to see Lima Senior get a win here at home tonight. Just don't see it happening. I'll take Piqua as well.
Yeah, I think along the same lines as you, Mike. But Piqua's well too established a program to lose to Lima Senior. Unfortunately, I think the Piqua Indians will win this game tonight. We will have the call on Lima Senior Piqua coming up later on this evening. Let's shift across town to Shawnee tonight, where the Indians, coming off a tough loss at Marion Local and a week 2 romp at Van Wert, will entertain Ottawa Glandorf tonight. Titans got a scare last week. Shawnee looking to play the upset card here. I like Shawnee's chances tonight, but I can't pick them. I'm going with Ottawa Glandorf.
I don't have a great sense. I think Shawnee's a pretty good football team, still finding themselves just a little bit. Van Wert was no test yet at this point after the tough road loss at Marion Local, and the Titans have had the home friendly cooking. You know what? Just to be the separator here, I'm going to pick Shawnee at home. I'm going to say the home is a factor, and the Indians play well at home in the Dick West era. So I'll take Shawnee in a close battle with OG. That's probably going to be a heck of a game, frankly.
I'm kind of itching to go to the coin here, but then
here
something tells me no, that Ottawa Glandorf's going to come in, and I've been kind of on their bandwagon, so to speak, since the beginning of the year, so I will take the Titans to win tonight.
Without the coin.
Correct.
All right, without the coin. All right, let's stay on the WBL. You can hear this game on our sister station, WZRX 107.5. Wapakoneta hosting Bath. The Redskins really feel like they let one get away last week at Elida. Some key red zone mistakes doomed them to a 21-14 loss to Elida. Meanwhile, Bath got beaten by Defiance. You got to figure that the Bath defense is going to get a whole heap and helping of some strong running game. I'm taking the Skins and pretty handily.
Yeah, I think that Wapakoneta with their ball control is going to really stifle Bath. The other thing I believe, I can't imagine, and of course Coach Doug Fry still shaking his head, how do we shut out Elida in the second half and still lose the game? So Wapakoneta kind of smarting off of that. Plus, it's their home opener tonight, so there's a lot of excitement with home opener. They've got a great facility at Wapakoneta, and I would be stunned if they don't get it done against Bath tonight.
Had the opportunity to spend some time over the phone with Doug Fry last Saturday morning for Coach's Corner and recapping the disappointing loss at Elida the night before. He really harped on it was more of a mental thing with his guys. He had no physical complaints at all about the way they played, the style they played, except for just not executing mentally. I think they've had probably a pretty darn good week of practice. The coaches have stayed on them, and I think Wapakoneta is going to win tonight.
Yeah, in fact, he said they've been in the red zone all week. That's really was their killer last week. He said, I'm telling you, we've been camping out inside 20 all week long getting that ironed out. So you know how Coach Fry is, Todd. He has a problem. He'll zero in on it and settle the issue. And I think they're going to settle the issue with Bath tonight.
Yeah, an impressive win for Elida, though, to turn Wapakoneta away numerous times deep in the Dogs' end. Certainly is impressive. Elida will have no trouble tonight with St. Mary's. I'm picking Wapakoneta as well. And just a bit more reflection on Elida Wapak last week. Apparently, Coach Fry was hard on the team, and there's been some culling of the ranks, if you will, at Wapakoneta. So those who stay will be champions, maybe what he's saying. Those who leave will not be part of the team.
Actually, that's not what he said. What he said was the losses aren't that significant.
Good enough for me. Let's go to the Northwest Conference. Columbus Grove at Ada tonight. Both teams are 2-0. Both teams have been putting up some points. I got burned by Ada last week. I'm kind of convinced their defense is better and good enough. I think Columbus Grove's played a couple of teams that aren't that good, being PG and Allen East. Ada's win last week at Spencerville was pretty high quality in my book. I'm going to take the Dogs of Ada, the purple and gold, tonight to win at War Memorial Park.
I'm going to take Ada also, although what Columbus Grove has done has been impressive because they've had a pretty diversified attack, but still a new regime, the whole deal, and I don't think their caliber of opposition quite has been a team as good as Spencerville like Ada took out. So I like Ada at home also.
Guaranteed no loss here on this pick just by walking away and say Bulldogs win, right, guys?
Yeah, don't try.
We're not going to let you do that.
Then I'm going to the coin.
No.
I'm going.
Okay.
Heads, Ada, home team. Tails, Columbus Grove, road team. Here's the flip. Here we go. That is heads. That's Ada.
All right, so we're all on Ada. And our final pick in the MAC tonight, the key game is Delphos St. John's hosting St. Henry as they open league play. Jays whipped up on Port Clinton last week. St. Henry was also a winner, 28-0 over Eaton. An important game tonight and the best matchup in the MAC. I think the Jays are pretty good. I was impressed the way they nearly upset LCC in week 1. Last week they really flattened Port Clinton. Jays are home, and I'm going to take them to beat St. Henry.
St. Henry is back from where they've been. Coach Starkey and company going to get it done. I don't think Delphos is as good as you believe. Port Clinton was really a weak opponent, and I'm not convinced that that Delphos offensively is as good as you might believe based on that relatively low-scoring win over Lima Central Catholic. I've got the Redskins.
All right, Jason?
I got to go with Delphos St. John's at home. I'm going to take the Jays.
And that wraps up our roundtable segment. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear from Ken Schreiner and Dick West, get a little more in-depth on that OG Shawnee game tonight. That's coming up on the Countdown to Kickoff on 1150 WIMA.